want to introduce you to a traditional Chinese food, tofu. In the turmoil of war and natural disasters that have plagued China since ancient times, people have derived a great deal of folk wisdom from what they eat and drink. Getting plant protein from soybean and derived from a variety of dazzling soy products. There are legends that tofu making techniques originated from the Han Dynasty Huainan King Liu An. There are cultural relics of the same period to support, but there is no clear written records. The same period of cultural relics on the brick painting shows something of the tofu making techniques. I feel not quite like making tofu, a bit like broiling. The earliest written record of tofu in the early Northern Song Dynasty, Qin Yi Lu, appeared, so I think that the invention of tofu time between the Han and the Tang Dynasty, but for a variety of reasons is not a record in writing. The process of making tofu includes soaking the beans, grinding them, boiling them, adding the brine, and squaring. Specific understanding: soybeans are ground into soybean milk, boiled, and then add brine to solidify. Salt brine: the liquid left the salt pond after making salt, still water, or salt lake. The crystals dissolve in water after cooling and evaporation become the coagulant for making tofu. Brine contains calcium and magnesium plasma, while soybeans is rich in protein when the two meet. A chemical reaction will occur, make the protein in soybean milk condense and precipitate. Finally, the precipitate was put into the container for making tofu, wrapped in the cloth, covered in with a board, and pressed to squeeze out the water. And after waiting to be formed, it was squared tofu. It is rich in calcium, which in turn can prevent and improve osteoporosis through calcium supplementation. It also helps to restore the function of the nervous system and improve memory loss caused by sleep disorders. Observational studies in the American journal Circulation have shown that eating tofu and foods high in isoflavones can reduce the risk of heart disease. Other studies have found soy isoflavones to be beneficial in terms of antioxidant activity, anti-acute maniacal asthenia, and anti-hemolysis. Soy protein lowers triglycerides and LDL in the blood and is effective in preventing colon cancer and cardiovascular disease. Soybean contains 18 cancer amino acids, 8 of which are essential to the human body. It is the only high-quality protein in the grain, close to the full price of protein. Lysine in soybean amino acids can enhance appetite and promote the growth and development of children. Soy isoflavones and soy protein coexist at the same time to play a role in healthcare. The fat in tofu is plant-based, unlike the animal fat contained meat, and it does not cause hardening of the blood vessels or heart disease. Also, tofu is low in carbohydrates, which makes it suitable for weight loss. It has the same amount of calcium as milk, making it suitable for pregnant women and developing infants. The human digestion and absorption rate of animal protein is only 65%, while tofu has a digestion and absorption rate of more than 92%, but the price is much cheaper. During the Song Dynasty, tofu is introduced to Korea. In the 135th year of the Tang Dynasty, the monk Ganjin traveled east to Japan and brought tofu-making techniques to the country, profoundly changing the local diet. However, it was the food of rich and nobility at that time. Later, it became completely popular and became a common food on the Japanese table. In the West, tofu was introduced by the famous Li Shizhen in 1902. At the age of 22, Mr. Li went to France to study. A few years later, Mr. Li opened a tofu company in France and was arguably the first to introduce a particular Chinese food, tofu, to the West. Today, tofu is one of the main foods in Japan, Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam. Tofu has an international dimension and has turned into a resounding business card for Chinese cuisine. However, although tofu is good, everything in moderation. Cannot eat more. It is high in purine content. Gut patients cannot eat. Where there are Chinese people, there is tofu, which can be used to make soup, meat, and vegetable dishes. Bitter, spicy, sour, and sweet. Cook it as you will. The small ingredients can be cooked with a variety of other ingredients. It makes a good dish, but also stand on its own flavor. The common people's home cooked dishes are cold dishes: tofu with tone, tofu with centuries egg, tofu with shallots. Hot dishes: Mapo tofu with green onions, 8 precious tofu. Soup: cabbage and tofu soup, cushion cob and tofu soup. Of course, these are just the ones I cook all the time. There are many other ways to do it, far more than these. Today, I'm going to show you the whole process of Mapo tofu.